Is finding your dream career feeling impossible right now? You're not alone. Welcome to Career Blueprint, the podcast that helps you figure out your next career move. We explore the trends in tech shaking up the job market, giving you the unfiltered advice you need, whether you're starting out, changing direction, or guiding someone else. Let's figure out what's next for you together. This is Career Blueprint. When was the last time you had to contact a business's customer service? Maybe you had to call an airline to change your flight, or you called your phone company to change your plan. When you contacted customer service, how did you contact them? Did you go old school and go to a store or pick up a phone and call a 1-800 number? Or maybe you tried a more modern approach and used an online chatbot on their website. Right now, it seems like there are a million different ways to contact customer service, and yet none of them work, right? It just feels like customer service is broken. A recent U.S. national survey on customer service experiences reported that 77% of respondents experienced a problem when contacting customer service. 77%, that's pretty high. And that rate has been steadily growing for some time, basically doubling over the last couple of decades. And in the same survey, 64% of respondents reported feeling rage during their interactions with customer service. Not impatience, frustration, or even anger. They felt rage. And get this, 7% of customers reported that they're planning to seek revenge against a business because of the customer service hassles. Yikes. That's not good. Customer service today is just broken.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Say or enter your account number again. Or you can say, enter my phone number.
456-8917.
I still didn't get that. If you need time to find your account number, press star. Please try entering the account number now.
Agent.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
No, you're not
Say
sorry.
or enter your account number again.
I've given it to
can
you.
Say, enter my phone number.
I've given you my account number. Why can't you understand what my account number is? I'm reading it off of my screen with my account online.
All of this got me to thinking, what's going on with customer service right now? How did we get here? And is artificial intelligence part of the problem? Or is it maybe the solution? Let's dive in and find out. We'll start off by talking about how we got here. Customer service has been around as long as humans have been buying and selling goods. But it was the invention of the telephone in 1876 that really made customer service into what it is today. Before the telephone, customer service existed, but it was different. Before the telephone, if you wanted to speak with someone at a business about their product or service, you had to physically go to the store. This meant that the customer service was face-to-face. It was direct. It was personal. And customer service was less about scripted responses and more about actually connecting with another person and solving their problem. The telephone changed that. It provided a way for people to speak with a business instantly and without leaving their home. And because it was so much easier and faster to speak with businesses using a phone versus having to physically go to a store, customers began demanding more and more attention and more customer service. As more Americans began getting phones in their homes in the 1940s and 50s, businesses had to quickly and dramatically expand their phone-based customer service. As the volume of calls rapidly grew, businesses had to find ways to make the job more efficient. Remember, answering the phone back then was a very manual job. Calls had to be physically connected and routed using cords and switchboards. Crazy, I know. You couldn't just dial a number and get the person you wanted to speak directly. Now, in the 60s and 70s, telephone technology improved with a couple of inventions, including private automated business exchanges and automatic call distributors, and some other technologies, all of which allowed businesses to automate call routing and centralize customer service into groups of agents sitting together at a single site, which was the beginning of what we now call a call center or contact center. Over time, companies centralized more and more of the customer experience in these call centers, and as the call centers grew, companies began having the agents do more than just answering basic customer questions. Companies started asking the agents to sell products as well as answering questions, which is how we got telemarketing. It's hard to believe it today, but before we had our cell phones and laptops and the internet, everybody bought stuff by calling a company on the phone. By the 1980s, any company dealing directly with consumers had extensive call center operations. And as the size of these centers grew, so did the cost of operating them, putting pressure on profit margins. So companies had to start to look for ways to cut costs. They first outsourced the work to third-party vendors, companies who ran mega call centers with thousands and thousands of agents who could provide customer service for multiple brands or companies. It was an efficiency play. The theory was that a third-party vendor whose entire business model was running a customer service call center could do the work better and cheaper. But as we all quickly learned, the third-party vendors might be able to do the work cheaper, but probably not better. And this was the beginning of the end of great customer service. Over the next few decades, there were multiple strategies to continue to reduce customer service costs, which also mostly just degraded the customer service experience. Next, there was offshoring. Starting in the late 1990s, where customer service was moved to countries like the Philippines and India, where labor costs were lower. Offshoring saved businesses lots of money, but greatly increased customer frustration. Customers felt like businesses were cutting costs at their expense, and they weren't happy about it. But the worst was yet to come. In the 2000s, as the internet took off, businesses adopted a new customer service strategy called self-service. And I'm still baffled on how businesses got us to do this. Businesses use the internet to shift customer service from call us if you need help to help yourself first. They did this by moving information and simple transactions into online help centers and frequently asked questions or FAQs. As the concept of self-service expanded, businesses began enabling customers to do more and more themselves online through customer self-service portals. Customers could see their purchase history, open and track support tickets, browse help articles, and many other tasks previously handled by a human. As companies moved more and more to self-service, getting an answer to a question just got harder and harder for customers. I mean, how many times have you read through a business's FAQs only to realize when you're done that it contained absolutely no information that was relevant to your question? It was a total waste of your time. So customer frustration was building at this point, and it just continued to get worse as we added more ways to contact customer service with texting and messaging and emails. With customer frustration high, businesses turned to technology again in the 2010s to solve the problem. And this is when we got the first chatbots. You remember the first versions of the chatbots. They could do Absolutely nothing. They were designed to follow predefined scripts and answer common questions, like FAQs, but like FAQs, they never actually answered your question. And this is when customer service hit absolutely rock bottom. So, given where we're at, can AI make customer service better? It's hard to imagine that it could get any worse. Let's talk about how AI is changing customer service today so you can decide for yourself. To start off, customer service operations have been using different forms of basic artificial intelligence for well over a decade. But it was the debut of generative artificial intelligence in 2023 that really started to change the industry and the customer experience. Now, remember, generative AI is the creative cousin of AI. It can create new, original content in response to a user's prompt. It's not just summarizing existing information. ChatGPT is an example of generative AI. The reason why generative AI is a game changer is because it is allowing chatbots, the wretched chatbots, to actually be helpful, which means the thing we hate the most might actually save customer service. Now, the original idea of a chatbot wasn't bad. The concept was that instead of you, the customer, having to read through a company's website to try to find an answer to your question, you simply type your question into a text chat and the answer pops up. Great idea, but it didn't work. Because early chatbots were script-based, if the scripts they were trained on didn't cover your question, they couldn't answer it. But with generative AI chatbots, they can look at a variety of locations for an answer, not just their script. And they can handle a lot more data, allowing them to answer more complex questions. Generative AI also allows companies to design chatbots to be more pleasant, to be more human. They can give the bot a personality, a backstory. They can change how much empathy the bot expresses. They can make the bot's language sound more human-like, including all the ums and ahs and pauses that a human uses when speaking. Now, I know all that sounds kind of creepy, but experts have determined that if a customer feels like the system they're using is actually listening to them and cares about the outcome, it becomes a much less frustrating experience. Now, chatbots that can actually answer your question is only one way AI is transforming customer service. And most of the transformation is actually happening behind the scenes with improvements to call quality. For example, AI is helping with call routing. AI voice recognition allows companies to identify VIP callers for faster service. And AI voice recognition helps determine when a customer has a high irritation level in their voice. It monitors the person's tone and words, so irritated customers can get moved up in the call queue to talk with a human faster. There are also AI agent assist tools that can help human customer service agents while they're speaking with a customer. AI agent assist tools follow along the customer is having with the human customer service person, and they coach the human on how to have a better call. The AI agent assistant can tell the customer service agent to give the customer more details or to slow down or be more friendly. AI is also helping these human agents by doing a lot of the documentation agents have to do after a call ends. AI can transcribe the conversation in real time and generate a short summary for the company's records. This helps human customer service agents move more quickly to the next customer and focus their attention on problem solving and empathy instead of data entry. And one of the best ways that AI is transforming customer service is through translation. We live in a global world where companies sell products to people who speak all sorts of languages. But having an individual human agent who speaks multiple languages is just cost prohibitive. But with AI, companies can provide customer service in a customer's preferred language. That's a big win. Now, all of these technological changes are still evolving, and there's some early glitches. For example, last year, a customer sued Air Canada when its AI chatbot gave him wrong information. The customer had called about a bereavement fare, and the chatbot told him he could buy a full fare ticket and then apply for a lower bereavement rate after the funeral, which was coming up soon. But it turns out that policy didn't exist. Air Canada's chatbot just made it up. The passenger pursued the matter in a tribunal court and won. So, chatbots aren't ready to replace humans yet, but you can see the trend. Which leads us to the question, how is AI impacting jobs in customer service? Now, this is a really important question because a lot of people work in customer service, particularly in call centers, or as they're now called, contact centers. There are around 3 million people who work in contact centers in the US alone. 3 million. That's about 2.5% of the entire US workforce. Let that sink in. There's one contact center in California that employs 50,000 people. Just that one contact center. So we're talking about a lot of jobs and a lot of people that are going to be impacted by these changes. Now, you might ask, what type of jobs are these that we're talking about in contact centers? Most of the jobs are desk jobs that don't require a college degree. Annual salaries are around $40,000 plus benefits, depending on where you live and your experience. This isn't high pay, but it's also not physically demanding work. Now, working in a call center can be hard and unpleasant. It turns out it's not great to have somebody yell at you and call you names. So, employee satisfaction in customer contact centers is at an all-time low. A recent survey found that only 19% of contact centers employees are satisfied with their job. 19%. And the average call center worker quits after only 18 months. So, artificial intelligence taking over some of this work may not be a bad thing. The short tenure of contact center agents leads you to believe that working there is more of a pit stop on someone's career than it is a destination. So, what work is AI taking over? AI is taking over Level 1 customer support work and has been for several years. Level 1 customer support involves repetitive questions. Think of them as the how do I questions, like how do I reset my password, or how do I pay my credit card bill, or has my order shipped? These are all questions that usually have a straightforward, simple answer. But what's new is that we're starting to see AI agents taking on more complex work that is considered Level 2 customer service work. Tier 2 customer service work involves tasks that require multiple steps. For example, customer returns. It turns out returning a product is not always a straightforward task. Determining whether a customer can return a product may depend on when the customer bought the product. Did the customer buy it yesterday or 5 years ago? It can depend on whether the customer has used the product, whether the product's broken, whether the customer bought the product on final clearance. Every business has its own return policy, and many are kind of complicated. And this is where AI agents, powered by generative AI, can help. These new AI agents can do the many steps required to process a return. They can ask a customer a follow-up question, like, do you want to return the item or get an exchange? They can ask for an order number to find the item in their systems. And if a customer doesn't know their own order number, the AI agent can check the company's back-end IT systems to find the number And once the agent has the order, it can check the company's product return eligibility rules. And then the agent can take action like approving or denying the return. All of this complex multi-step work wasn't possible before generative AI. Now, there are other Tier 2 customer support tasks that AI agents are taking over. Tasks like subscription cancellations and minor updates to account bills that AI agents are not currently capable of handling all Tier 2 customer support, much less Tier 3 support, where the really complex work is. And there are a couple of reasons why. It's going to be a while before AI can take over more of that type of work at the level 2 and level 3. First, AI is not great with emotions. It can't appropriately handle an angry, frustrated customer. Sure, AI can say, "I'm sorry," but humans don't want an apology from a computer system. It feels empty and insincere. Second, some customer interactions are really complex. Think about a broadband customer whose bill suddenly doubled because a promo expired, and the company then charged him a late fee because the customer paid the prior amount he thought was due. And then maybe throw in a verbal promise from a sales rep the customer talked to in a local store who promised a different price. AI can't unravel that mess. Fixing this customer's problem will require analyzing multiple bills, call notes, and making judgment calls with conflicting evidence. And it will require reading the customer's emotions and credibility. AI just can't do that right now. It could help the human agent. It could summarize the customer's problems and the call history. It can do the math on the customer's bill and maybe even suggest options. But it can't decide what's the right thing to do in this very ambiguous situation. Third, AI isn't going to take over all customer service jobs because humans have the ability to engage with other humans at a far deeper level than a computer. When you interact with a computer, it's fast and transactional, which is why we like it. But when you speak with a human, companies can learn more about you, which they want to know for future sales. And a human might even be able to sell you something right then and there. Think about it. If a customer physically returns a product to a human sales rep in a store, the customer service agent will frequently chat while processing the return. She may ask, "How's your day? Why'd you buy the product? What do you think about it? And is there anything else you're looking for today? Can I help you with anything?" These throwaway questions are opportunities for a business to learn more about you, your opinion of the product, and your wants and needs as a customer. And the situation may even present an opportunity for a new sale. Businesses know that making everything transactional means they lose access to this valuable data. I, for example, went into Nordstrom the other day to return something, and I walked out with a pair of jeans that I did not intend to buy. And that's because a really skilled human customer service agent helped me with my return, and while we were talking, she convinced me to try on some new jeans. So, if AI isn't taking over all customer service jobs right now, what jobs are disappearing and what new jobs and skills are emerging? As we talked about, level 1 customer service jobs are disappearing, but there is still plenty of work in level 2 and level 3 customer service. Level 2 and level 3 customer service roles usually handle the more complicated customer questions. They also handle customers who are frustrated or when the stakes are high, or there's multiple systems and policies involved, like fixing a billing error across several products, or handling a travel disruption that affects multiple flights and reservations. In those situations, we still need humans who can listen, think critically, make judgment calls, and sometimes bend or reinterpret the rules to keep a valuable customer happy. So for the foreseeable future, we still need humans for that higher value customer service work. To do that higher value work, humans are going to need a new mix of skills to work side by side with AI more than ever. Humans need empathy, clear communication, and problem solving. But they also need to be comfortable using AI tools in real time, especially during calls with customers. That means they need to be able to interpret AI-generated suggestions while on a call with a customer and deciding when to follow AI or just ignore it. Because of this shift, completely new customer service jobs are starting to appear. Jobs like AI customer support specialist, who trains and fine-tunes chatbot responses, and customer success facilitator, who monitors AI interactions with customers and knows when to step into a situation with a customer. So instead of AI simply replacing agents, it's creating a more specialized, more tech-savvy set of human roles where people focus on judgment and relationships and on how to improve AI as it serves customers over time. Thank you for joining me today. Let me know what you think. Will AI save customer service or somehow make it worse? Drop me a comment and join me next time when we talk about how technology is changing jobs and our lives.